Welcome to this special episode of the Cornish Witch podcast. We are on location today in Launceston's Southgate Arch, and I've got some special guests with me today. So I've got lovely Pixie from episode 6.
Oh, I have to go first.
That's because you're to my left.
I'm sorry.
And then we've got Emily from Black Cat Books from episode 2. Got my lovely friend Natasha with us.
Hi.
Hello. And then we also have our storyteller and special guest for this evening, which is Lawrence, who is our local town ghost storyteller, ghost man. What do people like to call you when they see you?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on, and hello. They tend to call me the ghost man.
The ghost man.
I'll either be walking through the town or I'll be sat in Black Cat Books and someone will come in and say, "Oh, you're the ghost man, aren't you?" So it's like, yeah, I'm the ghost man.
Yeah. Do you think it's the top hat and cape that gives it away?
Yeah, but I don't wear it in the public. Well, the Victorian garb from like the Christmas ghost stories. Don't tell. Well, or do I? Yeah, I probably would, to be fair.
You just need to get you a cane. And you can
Yes, I did have a cane. I gave that back with the cape.
Oh, okay.
And then I found the white gloves which I didn't give back. Were actually in the box with the top hat. I found them yesterday. I was wondering where they got.
But now you sound like a magician. So, Lawrence, tell us a little bit about the history in here. Yeah, this is the first time that I've been inside the Southgate Arch, although I walk through it pretty much every day. So it's really exciting to be sat here. And I am aware that it has a bit of a spooky reputation. But yeah, I'd like to listen or hear a little bit more about the history of it.
So Launceston was the only walled town in Cornwall. Was the capital of Cornwall. And there were, I think, 4 gates, of which this, although it's called the Southgate Arch, it's actually the East Gate.
Okay.
And it was built in the late 13th century and had a portcullis and a drawbridge, and it overlooked the road to Exeter and sort of protected Cornwall from anyone travelling from England, as it were. But it was served as a prison inside almost from day one, and the conditions were so rotten it got nicknamed the Dark House.
The Dark House.
So during Tudor times, it was remodelled to what we see now, like 2 chambers. The one wearing was for petty offenders, and one upstairs was for a debtor's prison.
Okay.
But the debtor's prison was apparently very rarely used because conditions were so bad. Most merchants and shopkeepers preferred to let people off who owed them money rather than have them sent here. This chamber, which is probably the same size, I suppose, as a large living room in the average house.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So this is this housed 30 men and women. They had 1 bed between them. There was no fire for obvious reasons, in case the place burnt down, but no water supply either, apart from what the jailer could be persuaded to bring in. No light except 2 tiny slit windows and an old bathtub for a toilet. So conditions were pretty rank.
Yeah, that's a stank.
And it was for the likes of burglars and pickpockets, that sort of level of crime. People who committed serious crimes, I mean, their conditions were even worse over at the Doomsday in Launceston Castle.
Right.
Wasn't it known as Castle Doom? Was it? Sure, I might have left that somewhere. Castle Doom.
Is that not series 3, episode 4 of Game of Thrones?
Episode. Everyone says, "Oh, it looks such a cute little castle, like a cake," and it's actually, back in its day, it really wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, well, with the castle, I always thought it was like from what I've read on like the National Trust bits, or is National Trust or it's Heritage? The heritage stuff. I always thought it was a bit of a party house. This castle.
It was.
It was a bit
It was buying. Well, it was.
Caesar just came down for a party and then went back. Yeah.
The original castle built by Robert of Mortain in 1068. I don't know how true this is, but I've been told that they recruited Saxon slave labour from St. Stephen's to build that mound, and that when they did, not only, of course, did a lot of the men building it then die doing so, but because there was no one to farm the land, the women and children up at St. Stephen's also, a lot of them starved to death because, the people to work the land had been taken away. I don't know how how true that is, how apocryphal, but that's the story. But then it was remodelled by Richard, Earl of Cornwall, and it's a holiday home, really, a status symbol, a chance for him to show off the fact that he was the richest man in Europe,
Yeah.
far richer even than his brother, the king, because he had all the tin for Cornwall and the Dartmoor Starries. But then, as Pixie says, it also had the other side to it, where it was the county assizes, it was the prison, is where executions took place, and so it also had that dark side to it as well.
And there was the Witch's Tower there as well, is that right? Or is that a bit... Because I've heard all sorts of things about there was a Witch's Tower, there isn't a Witch's Tower, there was, but only witches weren't imprisoned, no one was actually executed, or one woman died. So I hear lots of different things that's filtered down. It's not there anymore. But what do you know about the so-called Witch's Tower of Launceston Castle?
Well, I think a lot of it might be, as my dad used to say, true and never to happen, in that it's just a story. But the story is that, yes, there was a Witch's Tower, and it either fell down by itself or was demolished in the mid-19th century. It was called the Witch's Tower because, again, allegedly, those who were convicted of witchcraft were burnt at its base. Now, this is a story. Well, I am Pixie, because this is a story I normally tell on the Ghost Walks, but I didn't on Thursday out of sensitivity, because I was afraid that I might upset you or offend you, because it's not
It is. I mean, it is sad, like because the whole witch wound. But
It's still, the witches didn't tend to get banned in this country.
Well,
They tended to hang them.
yeah.
So it sounds like it's a story, but it was certainly believed locally, at least in folklore, that they had been burnt, and they'd been burnt at the base of this tower. And so therefore, the story is that sometimes people are walking through the castle grounds at night time and they feel natural heat, as if the fire is burning, and they hear the screams of the witches as they are engulfed in the infernos.
I've got a T-shirt that says they didn't burn witches, they burned women.
Oh, that's cool.
Because they were just women.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they were.
Just herbalists and healers and midwives. And
Don't get me started.
or just free thinkers.
Yeah. I'm beginning to think I've been dragged here to this haunting under false pretenses for fear of them.
For witches. Oh dear.
I'm going to get their revenge on what my ancestors are. My ancestors are Irish. We weren't involved in this.
It's very often they just burn people who didn't fit into society, or hanged people who didn't fit into society. There were men who were hung for witches.
Yeah, there were. Yeah.
Not as many.
No. I'd say it would probably be like maybe a 80-20 split.
I do find it absolutely fascinating, because it is an insight into the way humans behave when they don't understand, or when they're jealous, or they're vengeful, or so. I do love reading about it, just out of fascination with human behaviour, because
That's all it is.
It's strange times, wasn't it?
Being in this building, and with this being two prisons, so we've got the upper level, would there have been like an iron, or like a gate there, or a door, or a separate entrance?
I think it's possible that it was probably just a ladder.
Oh my gosh.
I guess. I can't see that the money would have been spent putting a staircase in, because it wouldn't have had any great desire or value to the people who were building the place and remodeling it. I mean, what's interesting is that when we do our ghost tours,
Yes.
we always come in here, but on the occasions we do, we get the old dowsing rods out.
Yeah.
And we look to see if we can douse for any spirits. And so far we've had some success. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it tends to be the same person who comes through each time.
Okay.
And interestingly, he doesn't come through in this chamber, which is where he should have been.
Was that you? Did you just hit? I just felt my chair get kicked at the back. I thought you just tapped my chair.
We do that, but it's
Just-
stuff, something.
Yeah.
Because my ears buzzing
Yeah.
here.
So just because we are audio, I'm not film the podcast, but we were sat in a circle. Pixie's to my left, and I thought Pixie might have accidentally tapped my leg chair with her foot, but her feet are by the front leg chair, and I felt the tap at the back, and I just felt like someone brushes past your chair and their foot accidentally knocks the chair. I've literally just thought that was, and now you're hearing a ringing in your ear.
No, I'm not. I'm feeling.
You're feeling something.
There's
something there.
Yeah.
So there's something on your left.
Get the dowsing.
On your right, and on my left. Yeah, so basically, there's a presence in between Pixie and I right now.
Yeah,
okay. I felt that as well. Okay.
On Thursday, after we came out from here, because Pixie was on the ghost walk on Thursday, and in fact, she was the young lady doing most of the dowsing upstairs.
Even though I don't actually have much, I've got them. I haven't got much experience with it, so I didn't really know what I was doing.
I pretty much just volunteered you because I knew that I was meeting you. But it was interesting. So when we came downstairs, a different Tash, who's involved in organising the ghost tours, she had two friends from the north of England down, two gentlemen from the north of England. And one of them said to me, he said, do you normally have, or do people ever say they get touched when they're in there? And I said, in all honesty, no, not as yet. And he said, well, my husband did. Today, he said, he felt something brush against his cheek, like a hand, fingers gently brush his cheek about 5 or 6 times while we were up in the debtor's prison.
Should we go up now?
Let's upstairs in a bit, shall we? Ooh.
That ghost was keen.
It does make me think, what are they seeing? Because I wonder...
Yeah, what's their perception?
Are they seeing 5 people sat in a circle going, oh, for God's sake, just give me some peace and quiet? Or are they
interested in your equipment?
Are they interested in my equipment? Or if they're brushing someone's cheek, do they know that they're brushing someone's cheek? Or is they just seeing something they're trying to get it, and it just tends to be someone's,
Spirit's known to electrical equipment because obviously they can draw some energy from it.
Yeah.
And to draw some energy, it means
it's going to wrap up a little bit.
Well, you might get home and find that none of this recorded or something.
Don't say that, Emily. I will cry if that happens.
Let's do it again. Yeah.
During the first time we visited here on the ghost tours, I was stood by the window where it looks east to the road to Exeter. And I was doing that so everyone was facing me in the chamber. And I was telling them the story. But at this stage, I was just telling them the history of the place. And afterwards, a lady, as we were walking out of the castle at the end of the tour, she said to me, I didn't like to say anything earlier. She said, because it sounds like no one else saw this. And I just thought they'd laugh at me if I said it in front of everyone. She said, but while you were standing there talking and sharing the tale, there was a man sat behind you on the window ledge, sort of listening in, and he had an amused expression on his face. So that possibly answers your question. What do they think? They possibly think, oh, not this nonsense again.
Must be Thursday. I suppose it depends whether you're the type to ask for something to happen and then I'll swear and scream and run off when it does.
Yeah.
Or a bit more respectful. I don't know.
I mean, I'm friends with Corinne from the Jamaica Inn paranormal investigation team.
Yeah, okay.
And amongst the stories she tells is that their medium was in the pub one day holding a seance and saw a chap. And what was interesting about it is that the chap was dressed in old period dress. So imagine an old episode of Dick Turpin.
Mm-hmm.
Or adamant, stand and deliver. But despite that, he was sat on a modern piece of furniture, she says, in a modern, with his leg up on a modern table. Yes, so he was old. He was from the time, but he was able to interact with things that weren't from that time. And he was sat there, apparently, with legs crossed like mine are now, and his hand on his chin, face cocked to one side, just sort of shaking his head like this and smiling wryly, as if to say, oh, really, like, really, and finding great humour in what they were doing.
Yeah,
That's very cool.
it is very cool.
Interesting. I've not heard that kind of thing before, where they're interacting with their modern surroundings. It's usually you'll see them, I don't know, walking through something that used to be there.
Following a pathway or a trackway.
Not heard that before.
I had a ghost in my flat in Stowford, just down the road from Haunted Hay Manor, as it happens. And my flat was a modern building. So the house itself was an Edwardian house, or so that era, give or take. And we think it was built by the people who founded Ambrosia.
Oh,
When they were a few quid for themselves, they built a big house on the tallest site in the area. They could be seen by everyone. Not thinking, is there a reason why no one built a house on this hill before, where everyone else has built their houses sheltered by the hill? So it was a very windswept spot. And back in the day, there's a guy who had the house. He said back in the day, it had swimming pools, it had tennis courts. It was famed for entertaining. But most of that has been built on now with bungalows surrounding it. Half of what we had was the old servants' wing, and half of what we had was a modern annex. But where the ghostly activity happened was mostly the modern annex. There was a little bit in the old servants' wing. We saw a ghost of a cat sort of go be underneath the table once,
oh,
and my girlfriend saw a ghost of an old man standing by the fireplace. She experienced something which, when she said it to me, I thought was really cool, because I thought it sounded like a time slip. But she was terrified and thought it sounded like she had a brain tumour. Now, touch wood, this was during lockdown, so 5 years ago, she hasn't got a brain tumour. But it was a pretty cool experience. But most of the things that happened in the modern part of the house. And one of the things that happened was I would wake up in the middle of the night. I would need to go to the toilet. I would go down to the bathroom. And when I came back, it would absolutely reek of old tobacco. So, like, proper old pipe tobacco or woodbines or something. Absolutely reek of it, as if someone had been smoking there for hours and hours. So strange, strange.
wasn't that? We discussed this in your episode about the Mr. Bean in the Welsh cottage. His pipe smoke. Yeah, it smells are really interesting when it comes to haunted places. When I was must have been about 10 or 11, we were living in this house. It was a semi-detached council house that was built probably in the late 40s after the war. The ones that were built in 1947.
Is this here in Launceston?
It was back up in Northamptonshire in Buckby, which is a really old village, and I would always smell perfume. Randomly smell like a white musk or like a floral perfume that would just come and go. This smell, and then I remember one evening we had bunk beds, my sister and I was on the bottom bunk, and my little sister, who's like 5 years younger than me, was on the top bunk, and we were just there and we were reading our books in bed, and the main light was on, and the light just turned off, as if someone just turned the main light switch off. We heard it click and it went dark.
Flicked.
The switch flicked.
No.
And we both you both heard just the books down straight under the covers sort of thing.
I've never understood that behaviour.
Like,
I would not want to hide.
Well, yeah.
If there was someone in the room.
Is it not just an instinct, though?
I think it is an instinct.
Oh,
It's flight free. I made my sister get out of the top bunk. I was in the bottom bunk. I was 5 years old now. So I'd have been 10 or 11. She would have been about 5 or 6. And I was like, Evie, do you want to go turn the light on? She's like, no. And I was like, I'm not doing it. And she's like, I'm not doing it. I was like, go on, you're so brave. You're so much braver than me. I believe in you. And then she climbed down the top bunk and she and walked and put the light back on. And we were just like, shit, like, it actually turned off.
Oh, well, yeah, physically.
Yeah, physically turned
So,
off.
yeah, it's not just like it tripped out or something.
No, but I get a lot of smells in that house. It's just really interesting how it's always kind of I was just with your olfactory setting, and your sense of smell, it's so strong, and it can be very nostalgic as well, kind of for people, and set off a lot of memories and a lot of emotions. But smell is a big thing. Have there been ghost stories here over the years that people have or like legends of certain ghosts haunting this
Well,
this building.
there's a story about the people who last used it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been out of use for some time, I think. And it was what I mean, I was in here in about 2012, and it was being ran then as a sort of an art gallery and gift shop. I remember getting my little girls, as they were then, some little glass ornaments. One was an angel, one was a fairy, to hang up on their bedroom wall. And then it'd been empty for a while. Then it was taken on and used as offices. I don't want to say by whom, just to respect their privacy, but they're using it as offices. And actually, when I came in first in August, and still a lot of the stuff is still here, but when I came in first in August, virtually all the stuff was still here, and the chairs that we're sitting on were all lined up for a meeting facing a pinboard display board there, and it still had the things pinned to it. And what I was told is that they were using this place as offices, and they started reporting, like shadows, or reporting cold spots, footsteps up and down the stairs. They didn't. I think this is really cool.
Yeah.
I had a haunted pub, and I was so excited to think it was haunted, but they didn't like it. And then one day they just decided no, and just up and left all their stuff behind. And there's loads of stationery here. It's just been abandoned. I suppose if someone wants to take it, they just could. And there's like old files. So amongst the stuff that's here were like poems written for like a children's competition, and various files, all CD-ROMs. And it was just, when I first came in that first time and opened the door, I was expecting something completely different. I was expecting bare stone walls, flagstone floors, all this. But it very much had the feeling of the Marie Celeste, the Marie Celeste of offices, where one night they just went, no, I'm not coming back. And they just gave the keys back to the council and said no.
But that's not unusual in the case of ghost stories and hauntings and people just having enough. You hear it so much, don't you, that they just literally they just up and leave, and then they just take the clothes on their back. Because that makes me think, and it makes you wonder, something must have really scared them, really scared them to just leave everything.
Well, obviously you can't leave the safety of this chamber because you're the host, and I can't leave because I'm the guest.
I guess please.
One of these three, I suppose, should probably go upstairs on their own to see exactly what it was that scared them so much.
I've been up there on my own, but I don't
You were up there earlier.
Cool, wasn't it?
Yeah. You could record on your phone while you're up there. Yeah.
And if you want to, I've brought the dowsing rods.
Yes, that'd be
if you
great.
want to have a little play with them.
Should we go dowsing?
Yeah. I mean, Vixen and they dancing together.
that.
Ooh!
Not a successful dowser, to be honest.
No, like I say, I'm not.
I'm not really practiced. I'm not a pendulum. That's
You went brilliant. Oh,
so.
never mind. Be careful. Oh, we're doing it right now, aren't
Yeah.
we? Oh, okay.
I'm going.
She's on. Oh, and Tasha's on her way. Have fun. Be careful. We've spent that back in 20 minutes. Then just wait. So the lady's heading
Do you know-
upstairs.
Do you know what would be really good now? You've got the keys and the padlock.
I just.
But no, it's interesting what you say about how it's a common theme in ghost stories. People are scared they leave because why are they scared? Why are they scared of
Well, this is
ghosts?
it.
Something which isn't real.
But
Well, I mean, physically real. It's not a physical material presence. Yeah, how can it hurt you?
But we are all made up of energy.
Mhm.
We are basically clusters of atoms, just really tightly pushed together, right?
Mhm.
And you can't scientifically destroy energy. So even though our bodies, our physical walking meat sacks are finished with, there's still the energy that we give off. We have our own electrical current. We have auras. So we have to go somewhere, or that energy does have to go somewhere. That matter has to go somewhere. It can't be destroyed.
Mhm.
So that's what I believe. But also it's nice to know that you can't destroy energy. It has to go somewhere.
Mhm.
And I think it does tend to linger as well.
made a great point there. You made a great point there, Freyja. Again, like about why should ghosts be scary? I think I want ghost stories to be scary for what I do. They have to have a certain chill factor, otherwise they'd be no good. But again, Karine from Jamaica Inn has she says, why do they have to be scary? She says, our ghosts aren't scary. She says, our ghosts aren't scary. And she tells a story about the Jamaica Inn, about how there was a ghost that used to walk around pinching people's bottoms.
How rude.
So it pinched male and female bottoms alike. I didn't mind which. And they used to egg it on during their little sort of seance sessions to do so with some of the guests as they would do their investigations, because they knew it'd be hilarious, the surprise the guests would get. And so if they were doing whatever they were doing to contact the spirit, they would say, if you're here, can you do that again? And then people would come back and report, you'll never believe what happened to me. I was in that room over there completely by myself. Someone pinched my ass. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's interesting. Am I scared of ghosts? No, I don't think so. But I think a good scary ghost story makes the best.
I've always said I love a good scare because it's fun.
Yes.
It's fun. It gets your adrenaline pumping, doesn't it? And I think when you know it's there for an entertainment purpose as well. But I think with Are Ghosts Scary, I think it depends on that soul's past, what they went through, what sort of person they were. I mean, we're sat here in what was a prison, and the energy in this room back in the day when there were over 30 men and women in here all together with one bed and a bath for a toilet, no clean water.
No water
at all, actually.
The jailer brought some in, you know.
As a woman, I dread to think what it would have been like for women in here. You are think about cabin fever. You can't leave, can you? You are in one room. You're staring at the four walls. You're in a pretty dire circumstances. People are going to get angry. People are going to get violent. People are going to want to try and control something because everything is out of their circle of control.
I don't think we have to think too hard to imagine some of the things that took place here.
Horrendous. But then it makes so if there are victims and perpetrators in here, depending on what energy has been left behind after that person's body is physically passed away, that can be quite scary. There could potentially be some nasty characters left here.
Well, fortunately, I get all that. We are fortunate in that when we've been in here, the guy that we've spoken with using the dowsing rods has told us that his name is Dick, that he was a pickpocket. He doesn't seem to know when he was here, what century it was, what year it was. He doesn't seem to know which monarch was on the throne, but he does say that he should have been here, that he was, he earned his sentence.
Yeah.
He didn't die here, but he is happy to haunt him.
Yeah.
Happy to remain here. And when we ask him, is he lonely? He says no. And when we ask him, were members of his family here, he says that his son was also a pickpocket and also served time here, and that he's quite happy to be here and then just to come through. And he only has short conversations with us before he goes off again. But what was interesting is that on the Halloween ghost walks, a chap who, we often get people who are ghost hunters.
Yeah.
From Hampshire, Plymouth, Cornwall come in. We had a guy in who does a lot of work at Bodmin Jail, and he brought a spirit box with him. And at that stage, he hadn't told me. I didn't know this. And as we came out, he said, what you were doing there with the dowsing, he said, the answers are true. He says, the answers you were getting are true. He says, because my spirit box was coming up with throwing up words that were basically confirming or it's corroborating the answers the dowsing rods were giving you. He says, but look at this. He said, I left the last one on for you to say, when you asked, should you have been here? Had you been a pickpocket? Showed me the box and the word guilty was spelled out.
Yeah.
So that was pretty. And actually, on our Facebook page just this evening, I put something on. It's one of the guests from the Thursday walk.
Yeah.
I often get people who be on the walk sending me photographs afterwards. And they're like, what do you think of this? And I just post them without comments or judgment. And a lot of people who then look at these photographs, and not just the ones that I share, but that a lot of people share, will then say that's just pareidolia. That's just finding shapes and faces in the clouds. And maybe it is, but I would like to point out that pareidolia is not.
My chair just got kicked again.
It kicked again.
My chair just got kicked again.
Well, I would like to point out that pareidolia is not a definite truth. It's only a theory invented by a psychologist. It's not like something we definitely know is true. It's like the theory of evolution.
that's
It's just a theory.
So that's like seeing an ostrich in the floorboards, right? Pareidolia.
Yeah.
Or seeing Jesus on a slice of toast.
Seeing Jesus on a slice of toast, or like, a baby's face in a cloud.
Yeah.
Freyja,
Yes.
we're talking to a female up here.
Yeah.
And I just said, can you tell me, is it Dick kicking Freyja's chair? And the rods went wild.
So Dick is kicking my chair. Thank you, Pixie, Emily, and Natasha are upstairs. And they're using the dowsing rods, and they just asked if Dick was kicking my chair and dowsing rods. What did they do? They pointed yes.
Yes.
They
And
pointed
then
yes.
they went, woo!
And they crossed
So,
over.
we
had a female who came through. She's older than 20. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, go on. No, go on. No, she's older than 20. And Pixie asked if she passed away in this building, and the rods crossed the yaps.
Okay.
And it started off, it was sort of like, it was really hard work to make the rods, but she really seemed, when she got going, to want to communicate.
I think we'll try again. You do your job. Yeah. But it just occurred to me to ask, is it Dick kicking Freyja's chair?
Because we're obviously on top of the road. If there's, if someone's revving their engine, you get the vibrations. But I can feel that through the floor. I'm feeling someone at the back of my chair. Just giving it a tap. But it's enough for me to go. Yeah. It's Dick. Thank you, Dick, for that confirmation. Kicking my chair. Please don't knock me over.
I wonder if it's Dick who's photographed looking out of the window then. Because one of the ladies on the tour on Thursday, she sent me some photographs this morning, or yesterday morning must have been, and she circled what she thinks she's seen in the window. And for her, there's three faces looking out, and on the stairs, I think she means the stairs here. I can't think anyone else went to that had the stairs on the tour. She thinks she's photographed a cat as well.
Oh wow.
And what I do with these photographs, I just share them without comment or judgment, and then I just read people saying, no, that's just pareidolia and your imagination and blah, 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 and poo-pooing it. And that's fine, because everyone's entitled to their opinion. But the one that it's coming out of that window there, one of the photographs, well, in that window or upstairs, I can't.
Okay, yeah.
But one of the photographs, to me, it looks very much like it's a man's face looking out of the window.
If it's him in the window, mind you, he's not going to know what photograph you're on about. Wouldn't have thought.
But when was this Thursday?
Thursday night.
So was he looking out the window on Thursday night?
After
the tour
Oh,
left.
somebody else's turn. Go on for a
show me.
earth them first. Sorry,
I don't
on the
know.
floor. Not that I'm an expert. I just remember being told that.
I'm just holding dowsing rods. I'm just being told to earth them, so I'm pointing them to the floor.
That's it.
Do I ask them to show me? Can you show me what yes is? What is yes?
No.
Yes.
They're quick for you, Freyja.
Yes is
Oh,
crossing.
really?
And
They're never that quick for me.
Yeah.
show me no.
We can get anything, could we now?
Show me no. Show me no, please.
What I normally do with them is I always earth them between each question.
Emmy.
They're all moving, aren't they? Oh God.
Show me no. Thank you for showing me yes and no.
I think Freyja's got an admirer. Dick's been in prison a long time for that female company.
That makes you feel real good, doesn't it, Freyja?
I didn't mean it like that.
Were you the gentleman or figure looking out of the window on Thursday evening after the ghost tour left?
Is this Dick though? Have you got Dick coming through?
Oh,
Maybe worth asking that.
Do I have Dick here? It sounds so weird.
To cut that bit out, won't we?
It's a tricky name in this day and age, isn't it? Do I have a male presence here with me? Do I have a female presence here with me?
Is her? There are two
Yes,
questions.
thank you. Thank you.
Could you ask if she's the same lady that was communicating upstairs?
Is this lady the same lady who was communicating with Pixie, Emily, and Natasha upstairs?
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Hello again.
Yeah, you got your things.
Thank you. Were you the figure in the window that was looking out of the window on Thursday night after the tour left?
Oh, fantastic.
Yes. Thank you.
Wow.
Are you happy for us to be asking you questions
And filming.
and filming this evening?
That's no word.
Yes. Thank you. Is there any other spirits here with you this evening?
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
Is Dick there?
Thank you. Is there a spirit here by the name of Dick this evening? Yes. Thank you very much. And is he the one who's kicking the back of my chair? Yes. Thank you. Is he trying to get my attention? Yes, thank you. Well, he's got it. Thank you.
Be great to try and find out her name.
I would love to know what her name is.
Ask if it begins with an A.
Yeah. Are you happy for us? Are you happy for us to try and find out what your name is by going through the letters of the alphabet?
Well, none of us are on this evening.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
I doubt it's
Okay. Does your name start with A? No. Does it start with B? C? D? E? F? G? H? I? J? K? L? M? N? O? Does your name start with P? Does your name start with R? Does your name start with S? Thank you.
Maybe yes.
Is your name Sarah?
I was so hoping she was going to say Isala.
Hello, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Keep it talking to us.
I just got a really weird, in my right ear, I just thought I had something go, that was really weird.
Stop recording soon.
That's pretty cool.
Wow. Thank you so much, Sarah. Sarah, are you stuck here in this building? Oh, Sarah.
We help her move on.
I would love to, but I'm not experienced enough. But I know somebody who is.
Sarah, are you scared? Oh, Sarah.
Sarah, are you scared? Is she scared of us?
Sarah, are you scared of us? Sarah, are you scared of some other spirits that are in here with you? Yes, agree.
It's not Dick, is it?
Are you scared of the spirit that is kicking my chair?
Glad she's scared
Glad
of
she's
Dick.
not
His
scared.
Dick's always been good. Like with us before, so I would have been disappointed if that was him.
A male presence.
Are you scared of a other male spirit in here, Sarah?
Female.
Are you scared of another? Are you scared of another female spirit in here? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Which way do we go from that?
Is she older than you, Sarah? Yes, thank you. Is she with us now? This lady that you're scared of, is she also here with us? Yes. Okay, thank you. Is she related to you? No. No.
She's saying absolutely not.
No.
To heaven.
Wow.
Thank you. Is she unhappy that we are here this evening?
Yes. Okay. Would it be better when we go, do you reckon?
Hmm. Will she be less unhappy once we leave? Has anyone else got any questions?
I'm going to put our psychic condoms on.
I think so. Yeah. Thank you, Pixie. You got any questions, Laurie?
No, none that I think will help.
No, Tash.
No,
Lawrence, you got any questions for Sarah?
Sam?
No. Sarah, thank you so much for communicating with us through these dowsing rods, and thank you for allowing us to discover your name. We're going to close communication with these dowsing rods now, and with any other spirits that are here, we're going to close that communication too, and end this session with the rods. But thank you for thank you for sharing your story. And I'm sorry that you are stuck and that you're scared, but hopefully we can come back and help you be free of this place. And we will do our best. But yeah, for now, this session is closed. Goodbye.
Hi, Sarah.
Bye, Sarah. So, let us these.
So just dowsing.
Oh.
Oh, that was
Ooh.
very cool. You all right?
Yeah, I just feel a bit weird. I feel a bit tingly.
Yeah.
Thank you. I might
Wow.
even just tap.
Yeah.
Just tap.
That's a good instinct.
Yeah.
That
Just
clears
gonna
energy.
clap that energy out. So, woo.
Wow. They're all coming to you.
I've never done that
Okay.
before.
Dramatic.
I've never done that before.
Oh my goodness, that's so cool.
What was it? What else was it like upstairs when you were up there?
Well, Tash and I both tried. We didn't really get along, did
No.
we? Where the rods kind of moved and
Mhm.
pointed kind of towards the corner a bit.
They did, and then I faced a different direction to kind of test that, and then they didn't really move that way again. But when Dixie tried, she had a bit more movement.
It started slow and it got going you, didn't it?
Yeah, she was
That was very interesting. I wasn't expecting that.
No, me neither.
Early on.
Yeah.
Me neither, because when we've been in it before, all we've ever had is the chat come through,
Mhm.
Dick, and some of the answers that were given this Thursday corroborated what he'd said before, but some contradicted them.
Yeah.
So, for instance, this time he mentioned that he was there because he was a debtor. He didn't like being there. In the past, he said he's been there because he's a pickpocket, and he didn't die here.
Mm.
He chose to come back. He likes being here.
Yeah.
I contradicted those answers, what was like came through this Thursday. So, but it's interesting that your chair was kicked when I was discussing the fact that I'd seen this photograph of the face.
Yeah.
That other people will say it's not real, it's just pareidolia. And as I was saying
Yeah.
that, something kicked your chair as if maybe to say, yeah, but actually it is real. That was me.
Interesting how we were discussing the dynamics and what the energy would have been like in here and how scary it would have been for those who were in this prison, and
Particularly
the women. And then Sarah's gone and come through, and even though it's another female spirit that she's scared of, and I just have this image of a very
crone-like.
crow. Well, not I don't like to use the word crone because I like the word, because crone is like for me maiden mother crone. I like that crone energy, but just a cantankerous and kind old woman. That's sort of in the vibe I'm getting at. That Sarah's a bit, she's not very nice, but scared of her.
It's interesting because I'm not used to being the only bloke in a room of 5 people, and 5 like intelligent, strong minded, like a strong personality, strong characters, if you like. And I was picking up on the fact that like the energy is very different because of that.
I feel that.
And when you started talking about, the things that might have happened to female prisoners, and we both knew exactly what you were saying. I didn't have to put it into words, but you knew exactly what you were referring to. And it was just all sort of changing the dynamic, and certainly changed the dynamic of the conversation on a Thursday night, because it's led by me.
Yeah.
It's led by me. And even like this Thursday, when I stepped back and said, you all do this, I'm just going to sit down the window and let you do it, I was still there as the presence and sort of getting involved in that. And it's interesting that when I have, it's only the male pickpocket that's come through. Whereas today, with you all being females and you mentioning already your concern about what they may have gone through, the prisoners, I don't know, but it felt like as if maybe Sarah felt safe to come through today,
also
whereas she hasn't in the
she's
past.
being heard. We're saying we hear you. We're sorry that you're going through, and even after death, you're still going through a really tough time. It would be nice to come back with someone who's very experienced in these matters and try and help her. How old did you say that she was when you did it upstairs?
Older than 20.
Yeah.
Older than 20.
Starts with that.
Bless her. I think for women, especially, back in those times, if you weren't married well, or if you didn't inherit any money, or if you didn't have a certain skill, like, owned a bakery, or you were a maid or something like that, then the only way to have made money would have been to sell your body. And it's just, and then you're a pariah of society. And it's just, but how do you survive? It's the only way you can survive. It's a vicious circle, isn't it?
It's a very harsh reality.
Yeah,
that
very
these
harsh
women are
reality.
facing.
Yeah, incredibly harsh. And, in parts of the world, that reality hasn't changed.
Yeah,
You
still
know?
very much.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's very grounding,
yeah.
this kind of experience. I think you were really polite with Sarah, and you were really polite with Sarah upstairs as well. And that probably helped.
I'd love to have this whole discussion about, no offense, the way things were for women and for men, but that would be a whole other podcast.
It would be a whole other podcast, but it's something that we can definitely talk about. I think especially with the witch wound as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It wouldn't offend me. I wouldn't mind joining the conversation as,
Well,
as an outsider, because
Yeah.
I think I've always been quite a female-centric man. Like,
You can say feminist.
well, no, because I'm not a feminist. I'm not a feminist because I don't believe in like isms.
Isms.
So, for
Yeah.
instance, I love nature and the
Mhm.
planet, but I wouldn't call myself an environmentalist
Yeah.
for the same reason. But what I am, I would like to think anyway, is just someone who thinks that everyone should be treated the same regardless of what they are, regardless of their personalities and their race and their sexual persuasion, whatever it might be.
Mhm.
But I was brought up as the only boy in the family. So I was used to, my mum was the main parental figure for me because my dad was always working. So I always had like girls around me. And then most of my friends at school and college, at university, who I was close to, were girls. And I'm the father of two girls.
Yeah.
And so I've only ever really known women, but I've never like understood perhaps what women go through. And just little things recently, I drive my girlfriend jalopy, and without wanting to stereotype anyone, it's kind of the car that you might expect old women to drive mostly. And people just come out in front of me and they just cut me up, and they just think it's perfectly all right to drive on my side of the road rather than wait for me to come. And it just drives me insane.
Was that outside of the car thing as opposed to?
That's like if I'm driving.
It's a little car. It's
Little
not
car.
necessarily a woman's car.
No, I think what it is, I think it's that they instinctively think, oh, that's just an old woman, and therefore I'm allowed to treat her like that. I do, yeah. I think that's how they think. Not consciously, but I think that's how they're wired to think that, oh, that's just an old woman. I can treat her with complete disrespect.
She's just going to be doddery while driving, so I'll just take the opportunity and
Yeah.
yeah.
And then they pass you and look into you.
But yeah, and because my girlfriend is small, like when we're walking down the pavement, people won't try and barge me off the pavement, but they won't just try like blatantly just walk in her space, because it's just like that. I don't know, almost instinctive disrespect. And I was like, maybe I'm turning into a feminist, Tash. What do you think?
So I heard
With those t-shirts.
I know it's like isms, but I think feminism has unfortunately been dirtied. The word has been dirtied and it's been changed a lot. But by definition, it is what you just described. Like if you were to look it up in the dictionary, it is equality between both men and women, no matter what their race, gender, or sexual orientation is. Yeah. But unfortunately, it's being put into a bit of a dirty word these days.
It has.
And you've got radical feminists and TERFs, and it's just like, oh, can't breathe sometimes.
Yeah, that's just.
Go on, man. Go on. I'm a feminist.
Yeah! I was expecting a podcast sorry.
I'm going to get one of those t-shirts. This is what a feminist looks like.
Now we just need to teach you to be a witch as well.
This is my cross here.
Yeah, we'll.
And I'm wearing a brooch here, and it's a Celtic cross. It's nice, isn't it?
It's very nice.
It's Scottish, apparently. It's miracle jewellery,
Oh,
fake amethyst, and tin.
Sweet. Yeah,
Nice,
it's
isn't
lovely.
it?
I did clock it when you came
I was
in.
looking at it.
Yeah.
So may I ask what your religion or spirituality is?
Yeah, so I was, so I'm half Irish,
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm more Irish than I am English. So, like, culturally, I kind of identify as Celtic.
Yeah.
And I was brought up as a Catholic. So I was brought up as a Catholic, and I did all the up to confirmation. And I'd kind of just become nothing by the time I went to university, but that was around about the time. But where I grew up, we had quite a monocultural area in that everyone was an Irish Catholic. And so I went to Catholic school and stuff. And then when I went to university, there was only like me and one other Catholic there. And all my friends, they treated it like it was really, really exotic and like really out there. And I was like, it isn't. But they thought it was like really exotic and almost like black magic. Some of the things that like Catholicism teaches, you know, like Jesus literally being present in the bread. Well, every time we took bread at the communion, we'd really think that we were receiving Jesus. Like, we didn't really think that. All you thought was, this is the end of Mass and it's nearly over and go home.
But also, you could always snack.
That was
It's a snack.
Well, it wasn't big enough to be a snack. I always liked drinking the wine. But it was like, yeah, so what am I now? Well, I broke my collarbone in New Zealand. I was sand dune boarding and I broke my collarbone. And by then I was an atheist. And the doctor had scanned it and said it would need an operation. And I'd be out of service for like 12 months. And I had loads and loads of things I planned to do. So I was lying in bed and it was really, really painful. And I went, I know you're not real, but if you are, could you make it stop hurting? And it instantly stopped hurting. And I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. And I went, I still know you're not real, but if you are, can you make it better? And the next day, I was talking to the guy who owns the hostel, and he was a Maori. And I didn't know this until he did it, but he's a healer. And he healed it simply by rubbing his hands on the other side, the side that hadn't broken. And it healed almost instantly. And I was able to do all the things that I want. Like, I was able to have surf lessons in Sydney, for instance, and learn to scuba dive at the Great Barrier Reef. I'd be parachute jump and all the things that backpackers want to do. I was able to do, and I shouldn't have been able to do any of them. And because we had, travel insurance, and it required you to like get this looked at. After I came back from Fiji, I went back to to New Zealand, back to Auckland, and I went to a private clinic to have it X-rayed and stuff to see where it was. And it's about 3 weeks after the break, and the doctor came in having scanned it, X-rayed it, and he says, "I don't understand why you're here." And I said, well, because I broke my collarbone, and just to make sure I'm signed off for the travel insurance, I've got to say like it's all right. And he says, yeah, you broke your collarbone. He says, like, a year or two ago. He says, like, what does it matter now? It's fully healed. And I said, no, it happened 3 weeks ago. And told him the story. And do you know what he said to me? He goes, that's a great story to tell your fellow backpackers, but it's not true. It's not true. And he wandered off. And so after that, I've always believed that there's a God. It's not like a mutually exclusive God, or it's not like a God that's my God and not your God or any of that. It's just like it's there and it looks after us.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That's such an incredible story.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's an awesome story. Thank you.
So,
I love hearing about people's spiritual journeys and experiences. Yeah, it's a really nice one. Yeah.
oh, thank you. You're welcome.
Is that what kind of led you to do what you do now?
No, so what led me to do what I do now is completely different. So what then happened is that fast forward to 2013, and I was working for Pirate FM.
Oh, yeah.
And the radio station hoped that Bodmin Jail, as it was then, would do something for Halloween. So I went in with this girl, Gemma, and it was long before it had been done up to the sort of paranormal Disneyland it is now. And as we drove in underneath the arch, the gateway, she said, I hate this place. She said, it gives me the creeps. And I laughed and went, well, that's what we tell the tourists and the listeners. I said, I'll tell you what, she says, don't join in the meeting. She says, I'll have the meeting alone. You just wander around by yourself and see what you think. So I wandered around And I got to this bit where it's just basically ruins at the time. Overwhelming feeling of evil washed over me, and I was so excited. I was like,
I didn't expect you to finish that sentence, but I was so excited.
and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, what's this? And then I heard a voice inside me. I would say in like, I'm putting to my chest to say, I'd say it's like sort of in my chest. I heard this voice say, "You don't need to be here, so don't." And I took that as like, like, you don't have to linger here. Whatever is here does, but you don't. So leave. It's not good for you.
Yeah.
So after that, I was very excited. Then a year later, I did the most ridiculous thing in my life and squandered all of my silver on a pub on Dartmoor, which went bust within a year
Oh,
and cost me thousands. But never mind. You live and learn. But no one said the pub was haunted. But I was there like a couple of nights, well, a couple of weeks, and I saw a ghost of a woman walking through the bar. And then I only saw her one more time, but I heard her constantly. And other people who worked for me heard her. And she was quite angry at times. Like a couple of bar staff working there late one night having a lock-in. When I was on holidays, it happened. Heard her pick up a chair and slam it in fury on the stage. But she hadn't, like nothing moved, but they heard it. And over the Christmas period, I took my little girl Erin on the Polar Express up at Oakhampton.
Oh,
What was
yeah.
it, Oakhampton Steam Railway? And my girlfriend was in the pub, and I was closing the pub, so she was just getting it ready for closing and leaving. And I shot her daughter was upstairs in bed, and she was in the bar just cleaning everything down, and she just heard every glass in the kitchen smash, every plate, every bowl, every pan like clatter and crash. She thought, oh my God, what am I going to go into? When she went in there and nothing was out of place. And so after that, I just seen ghosts all the time.
Mhm.
And I wonder if something was opened,
Mm.
or I wonder if it's just that my mind was opened.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend sees ghosts all the time, and I just seem to meet people now
Yeah.
who are of a similar mindset. So, for instance, I go into the bookshop and I just want to buy a book. And then I get talking to Emily and I find that she's got great ghost stories to
Yeah.
tell. And then I meet you and you have ghost stories and stuff about witchcraft and things. And,
And Pixie's got some wonderful stories.
and I meet Pixie and, from the outside, I've heard any better. I just thought that's like a nail salon and I wouldn't go in, would I? I'm not going to get my nails done. But like I meet Hodge, and it's just like everyone I meet now. I've even got like a pen pal from New Zealand who's an empath. And as he told me about like when she went traveling, backpacking around Europe, it was really annoying for her friends because every time they went somewhere, she was just picking up on like the terrible things that happened there. And it was overwhelming for her and she couldn't stay. It just seems like everyone I meet.
That's exactly how it works.
Yeah.
When you're spiritually inclined, or you like a magnet,
You are. Yeah.
can't help it.
Yeah.
It's exactly how it works. I think it's amazing because everybody I speak to that's spiritually inclined says the same as well. So,
And that's where protecting yourself and grounding yourself is really, really important. But I know that Tash you haven't had many direct
No.
or confirming experiences, but I know that you are open to receiving it.
I see the only kind of ghostly experience I've had was a few years ago on Halloween, where I lived at my mum's house at the time, and I was sitting in the living room, but I heard someone running downstairs, and like my brother had been asleep in bed, and I thought something must have happened. And I kind of got up expecting to see someone at the bottom of the stairs, and there was just no one there. And since then, I thought maybe it was sound coming through from the neighbours or something, but I've just never heard any sound like that. Nothing like so clear or so like frenzied that they were really like coming quick down the stairs. So
Yeah.
that's the only time that I've kind of sensed or felt anything there. But it being Halloween made me think Like
Veil
that
was
makes
thin.
sense. Yeah, that the veil was thin. But I mean, now I live in a fairly new build house, so I don't think it's not as likely that there would be some activity. I know you said it's not always.
Well,
From the land.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've read it's one of the best books I've read actually in recent times.
Was it the one that I've written? Was it the one that I've written?
Oh, very
Just shameless words.
fabulous.
Yeah.
By
And I've always said if you've got
That was the second best book we've read recently.
people think if they have a brand new bill, they're safe.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure
it
it's
isn't
not
necessarily
always the
so
case.
because they literally would just not necessarily always at crossroads, but fields all around the coastline, and basically you could be built on anyone.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've heard of people with new builds, and they it wasn't you that told me, was it? One of my clients recently told me they're in a new build and you're seeing a man going up the stairs, and
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
I've heard some stuff as
yeah.
well about
you don't know who's underneath you.
could be under a car park.
Well, yeah.
Just reminds me of the original Poltergeist film.
Yeah.
Because they're building their new house and they're
Yeah.
building the pool and it's all a big housing development, and then the boss is like, oh yeah, so we only meet the headstones. Actually they're just bodies in the gardens. Like it was a cemetery. It's like, what?
There was it was one of those ghost hunt programs that you take with a pinch of salt, like Help My House is Haunted. But I love them for the entertainment value. But I remember watching one, and it was a house just outside of Bude. And I don't think it was a very old house, and they were having lots of activity, a lot of really scary things going on and scary characters appearing. And so the team did this investigation, and it was found that the house was built on a field that had some kind of battle on it, really bloody battle, and people really suffered. And so, yeah, well, there you go. You just don't know, do you?
Yeah. And then the land is also, the earth is hurt then as well.
Yeah, I mean, and there's that idea that landscape and different things that has memory.
Is that stone tape theory?
Yes, well, the one I'm thinking about was my dad was a joiner, and he used to rent a unit on an industrial estate, and he's very sensitive, and he used to be working on his own in his workshop, and he'd catch someone just walking past out the corner of his eye, and he found out that actually long before that industrial estate was built there, it was a bridle way. And people and it was a kind of a bit of a thoroughfare for people to walk. This is near at Campton, so not far away. And people used to walk along that bridle way all the time. And so it just depends. I think the landscape has memory.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. And especially when there's been blood spilt.
Absolutely. Yeah, trauma is a massive one.
Yeah.
So, place up in Exmoor. Let's go back to 2017, Easter Sunday. I've been reading Lorna Doone. I me and my girlfriend were reading Lorna Doone. In fact, she was reading it to me, and I love it. I love being read to. And Lorna Doone, I think, is a great book. I know you don't like her. Unless someone comes into the bookshop and says, "Have you got Lorna Doone?" In which case, "Oh yeah, I've got this copy. It's the best book ever written."
Giving away my Tracy.
And so we loved Lorna Doone. So what's the go to where it was all set? So that Easter weekend we went to Lorna Doone Valley and that. So anyway, we're at, I think it's Malmsmead, and we walked down through the valley. Well, we got to this spot, we just couldn't walk any further. Like it got such a heavy feeling and so oppressive. And like for me, I just felt some of my blood sugars crash, and I had to get some chocolate from this like a little campsite shop there. I just had about 3 or 4 bars of chocolate just to keep going. And then we headed back, and there was a hill above it, and it looked like the kind of hill that might have had a hill fort on top. And it felt as if the hill didn't want us there. That sounds ridiculous, but it felt as if the hill didn't want us there. So much so that we nicknamed it Old Man Hill, because it felt like an old man who really, really didn't want us there. And I got the impression, like thinking about it, that I bet something really bad happened, like in terms of a battle there, and blood was spilled. And now, almost like if a dog's kicked by a Chinese man, it will hate Chinese men and stays away from them. Hey, I went to Fiji, and And some of the locals threw a 3-legged dog onto the fire because they didn't want a 3-legged dog. And backpackers rescued it. Not while I was there, but what happened is that the backpackers rescued it. So the 3-legged dog used to live in the hostel, and the backpackers used to look after the dog. But as a result, anytime there was a Fijian's backpacker, it wouldn't come near him because it associated, because that had been Fijians who'd like tried to set fire to it. That's what I was saying with like it's like the hill almost was like, well, you're people and you've caused that pain and that hardship, and I don't want you near me. And obviously not everyone could feel this. Most people couldn't, because there was a campsite in its shadow and they seemed perfectly happy to camp there, having a great time. But for me and Amber, it was just like, thou shalt not pass. We could probably cut that bit out, because it just makes me sound crazy.
I'll see how I feel. I'll see how I feel. Are you cold?
No, I'm just
Freezing. Are you cold?
No.
No,
Interesting, isn't it?
Because you're all less southern softies, except you're not, are you?
No, we're not. We're northern. I'm Northampton, but
I'm not northern. I can't claim any of this, but I am freezing.
it's cold. It's a little bit cold.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Tarosvan, because I'm actually so excited about this. So excited.
Yeah, so look, sometimes just crazy ideas come to my mind, and I just have to run with them there and then. I don't have the ability to stop them and say, that's a really bad idea, don't. You've got plenty on you're already doing. I just feel like, what would be really cool is if we did. And so I was running an event with Emily in Callington at the Primrose Theatre, and it was like sort of winter ghost stories. And then we were doing our own, where we were writing our own ghost stories. And the bookshop, and that was just last night. And I dressed up in Dickensian costumes and things. Well, you were there yourself.
I was, yes. Yeah.
And Ginger.
Yes.
And it was great fun. But I was in the shop to talk about that, and I just had this idea, and I said to Emily, wouldn't it be great if we ran a Ghost Stories festival in Launceston? Because there's certainly nothing of that kind happening down here. I just thought it'd be a great thing to do, because Launceston is so haunted, and every building seems to be haunted, and every building has a story. And every time I do these ghost walks, everyone has a new story to tell. And so wouldn't it be great fun? So what we've got booked so far is an author who's based in Torbay, but is half Cornish, and who grew up in a haunted house. And so, having grown up in a haunted house, he writes ghost story books, fictional ghost story books. So he's coming to an author event. We are going to do like ghost story writing workshops. I'm going to write here's the shameless book plug. I'm going to write a collection of ghost stories for it, and a book about Launceston's ghost stories. And I will have those launched at Tarosvan.
And we're also looking at having sort of some ghost hunting events. We haven't got anything properly nailed down, but we've got some avenues to pursue. So,
Incredible.
Yeah.
We have some things, some irons in the fire, and hopefully we'll be able to do like an overnight ghost hunt.
Yeah.
A couple of venues in mind.
I'm even talking to a guy, I don't know if it's doable or not, but I'm talking to a guy who puts on a brilliant one-man show called Nobody Is Listening, where it's like sort of based on like someone filming an M.R. James and it goes horribly wrong. And it looks really good. So I'm in the process of talking to him. And if we can't get in for this one, because it's quite short notice, we're hoping to run it quarterly. And so we'll definitely build and build. And by winter next year,
It'll be huge.
it'll be like Glastonbury.
Well, Glastonbury for ghosts, but yeah,
Halloween.
It's the last weekend in March, isn't it, Lauren? So
Last weekend in March.
Yeah, we're looking to kickstart sort of the tourist season in a spooky fashion.
Amazing. And Tarosvan, what's the meaning behind that name? What's the etymology of that name?
The Cornish word for ghost or phantom.
Great. Yeah.
It just sounds nice.
Yeah.
It rolls off the tongue.
Lovely name.
Yeah.
So, although I did spend fair amount of time on the phone to a relative who's a marketing expert, and she kept calling it talisman. So, like you were saying, the Tarosvan. But yeah, it's going to be fantastic. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
And then just thinking about how I get ideas and they always sound great to me. Tara's van, we could take it out on the road, a ghost story van,
Yeah.
to campsites and telling ghost stories. And so there's another venture for me.
Well, people have heard it here first. So if they're looking to, we need to come up to Launceston, kick off the tourist season.
Yeah, give us a follow on Facebook. Tarosvan has Facebook.
Okay, so I'll link that in the show notes as well.
Because then Lawrence is better at this than I am, but things are being shared as they happen.
Yes.
So up to the minute info will be on the Facebook profile.
When you sound better doing it, do you mean that I'm the only person in this partnership that's doing it at the moment? Is that what you really mean?
No comment.
I'm going to shut that down now.
I think so.
This episode's going to be going out as a bonus episode on Christmas week.
Okay.
So I think to round it off, Lawrence, have you got a nice little Cornish spooky ghost story for us for Christmas time?
Yeah, well, no, it's actually, we wrote some for the event last night, but there was one which I'd read in an old manuscript, which I'll obviously just paraphrase now. But it was a really interesting ghost story. It was a guy who was at Oxford University in 1856. I know it wasn't as good as Staffordshire, I know, but not everyone go to Staffordshire University like me. It was just Oxford. And he was at Balliol studying classics in 1856, and he was returning home to a manor house near St. Neot. And what happened was he travelled by train to Exeter, by stagecoach to Launceston. He stayed overnight at the White Hart Hotel, which is haunted, by the way. And then he got the connecting coach to Jamaica in, from where he hired a pony to take him over the moors back to St. Neot. And he was frightened doing it because it was a dark, cold, snowy night. And he'd heard tales of highwaymen and cutthroats, and he'd heard tales of body snatchers, and he was pretty scared. But everything was fine until he came across an old woman struggling against the snow, and he was surprised by this. So what was she doing out? And also, why didn't I notice her until now? She turns in his face, tries to hail her, and she doesn't seem to hear him. And he calls out to her a second time to try and make sure she's all right. And again, there's no reply. So he turns this sadly to look at her, and in his own words, he says, there was nothing to see in her face but the blackest of eyes. Empty eye sockets like dead beetles sitting in a blue-white palette of skin, so dry and ancient it could have been parchment. And he's absolutely terrified, and he spurs his pony on and they gallop off. And he thinks she's left the old woman many miles behind, so safety pulls on the reins, lets the pony take a drink from the sweet waters of the River Badalda, and the pony legs it. The pony shakes free where he's held at the bridle and gallops off, and he's seemingly left all alone. Only when he looks up, he sees the old lady is there, lying on the ground, twitching her last. And above her is a figure of an old man. He's described as grizzled and old, but also, strong, powerful, hale, if you like. And he's holding a weapon, a blade of some kind in his right hand. It's a sickle. And his left hand is holding the old woman down. And he uses the sickle to cut her head clean off so he can steal the purse that she's holding. And the young man tries to stop this. He tries to confront this sinner, but somehow falls, and he doesn't know whether he tripped, whether he falls or he's pushed by unseen hands, but he falls, he crashes his head against a rock, and he's knocked out cold till the morning. When he comes to, he's astonished to find no trace of the evidence. There is no body, there are no footprints in the snow, there's no blood staining the white snow, and he realises what he saw must have been a spectral recording of a terrible event that happened. As he says, at that very spot on this very night, midnight Christmas Eve long before. And he tells no one, but he finishes his manuscript by mentioning the following midsummer he's riding off to Bodmin, to the County Archives Office, to see if he can find a report of an old woman robbed and murdered at that spot many years ago, and whether or not her killer ever found justice. And we never know.
Ooh. Chilling. That's a little good scare. Lawrence, thank you so much.
Let's hope if he did find justice, he's not here with us now.
Yeah, that'd be, yeah.
They're really rattling in my hands.
Thank you so much for being able to facilitate this space for us this evening and sharing the local history. And thank you all so much for being here and taking part and having us the girls fun. It's just been a really fun episode. Hope to have you all back soon. And I think Tarosvan, I would love to be there for that. Help you promote it and do some recordings for it as well. That'd be great.
Awesome.
Yeah, that'd be so
great,
much fun. Like I did Witch Festival. So if I could do something similar, that would be awesome.
That would be
Yeah.
wicked. That's something else for us to do. Another event.
Yeah, I'll put it on Facebook.
And for listeners, this is a bonus episode. So just wishing you all a blessed Yuletide, Merry Christmas, or whatever it is that you celebrate this time of year.
Blessings.
And I will be back in the new year with a new season. Thank you so much.